Here we are at the portion of taste testing, the taste testing portion. I got all three on the plate with this excellent presentation. Man, to be honest with you, I think this is worthy of a Michelin star. Just saying, Michelin people. Anyways, I got steak A, steak B, and steak C. Steak A seasoned prior to cooking, entering the grill. Steak B seasoned on the sear section, and steak C was seasoned after the sear section. And I don't know how many of y'all have ever been to, like, say, Texas de Brazil or Fogo de Chao or any Brazilian steakhouse, and they have bananas in there. Well, the bananas are a flavor that is gonna, how can I tell you, nullify the flavor you had before. So say you have something savory and it's delicious and peppery or garlicky or whatnot. You take that bite of the banana is going to get rid of that flavor. So when you take a bite of the next cut of meat or next entree, it's going to introduce those flavors back into your mouth. And you're going to be like, wow, this is amazing. So you're going to get the different textures, different flavors of each one. So right now I got bananas for each. I got 2 bananas because I may want to come back to taste and see. I might cut some of these bananas again. But right now, like I said, we're going to try steak A first. And I think I already know how steak A is going to taste because this is my go-to style. Season the steak prior to entering the grill. Delicious. Look, I'm not trying to toot my own horn, but reverse sear steaks, the way I do it, the way I've always done it, or actually started doing, is the way to go. And this, oh my God, it's delicious. And mind you, this is not a choice steak, a prime steak. And this is, I believe, select. And for being select, it's still tender. It's still delicious. So yeah, it's a good cut of meat. Tastes very delicious. Okay? It's exactly like I tried. It's exactly like I expected. Now I'm going to take a cut of banana to clear my palate. Okay, bananas works. It clears your palate. All you taste right now is that metallic, I guess, flavor from bananas. Okay, I'm going to cut this piece of fat off because right now I'm just trying to taste the actual beef flavor. In fact, I may take a sip of water to get rid of the banana flavor. Okay, we're back to starting point. Okay, this is steak B, seasoned prior to entering the sear section. Okay, right off the bat, it seems that the salt is a little more pronounced. What I'm thinking what happened with steak A versus steak B is that the salt managed to absorb into the meat. So steak B, the salt sat on the meat a little longer, so it didn't get to absorb and I guess evenly distribute into the meat. So you're gonna taste a little more saltiness on steak B, but just like I said, it's still as delicious. Remember, if you learn anything from this video, is that reverse searing a steak is the proper method of cooking a steak. I've said it, okay? Any other way of cooking a steak, the 333, the sear it, then put it in the oven and all this, no. Reverse sear steak is, in my opinion, the best, the proper method to cooking a steak. And yeah, back to what I was saying about this steak. It is just as delicious. Had the same flavors, equal parts salt, pepper, and garlic. Nothing really different except for the amount of saltiness on the steak. Other than that, everything else was delicious. So let's say you're in a pinch and you have to cook a steak and you don't have the seasonings and you send someone out to get the seasonings. Hey, don't worry. Throw a steak on the grill, have them go run out and buy that seasoning, and then when they come back, put the pepper and the garlic, and just go a little lighter on the salt, unless you want it real salty. It doesn't really matter. And when I said real salty, no, this is not real salty. I'm just saying it's a little bit more salty, or saltier, I'm sorry, than steak A. But it's not enough to say, hey, I don't want this. So here we go. We're going to clear the palate again with some more banana. And like I said, I've got enough banana to come back and give another comparison. Because, hey, who knows? Maybe that section of steak had the bigger chunk of salt on there. So I could be wrong. But we're going to keep on going. And so this section is going to run a little long. Man, if I got anything to say about this little experiment I got going on here, is that bananas, they ain't no joke. When they say they're going to clear the palate, it clears the palate. It's like all I taste right now is strictly banana. There's no pepper, there's no garlic, there's no salt. It's a banana. And the nice thing is that when you take a sip of water, or a drink of water like I just did, is that it all goes away. I'm still a little dirty from the grill. Anyways, time to work on steak letter C, steak number 3, however you want to say it. This is the steak that got seasoned after the cook. Okay. I'll tell you what this one is. The salt, the pepper, and the garlic are way more pronounced on this steak. Yes. Without a doubt. Okay. Now this is a scenario for steak number 3, or letter C, however we're going to do it. Say you gotta cook a steak and you don't have enough seasonings, but you still gotta make several steaks for the family, and hey, I gotta make this work, i.e. we're in a quarantine. Guess what? Curfew. We can't go out right now to the store. Why? Because they're closed. They close by 8, they close by 9, what be it. Anyways, you want a steak, your family wants steak, everybody wants steak. So what you do is you cook your steak, and at the end of the process, what you do is you put it on the little resting area that you got, be it the cutting board, be it a pan, whatever you're going to rest it on, put it there, and then season it. But go light on the seasoning, because I'm going to say the flavor profile of this is going to be way more pronounced on it than, say, steak A and B. You're gonna taste the pepper and you're gonna taste the garlic and the salt. It's there. Is it a little much? Yeah. For the amount of seasonings I typically used, yes. To me, this is too much seasoning for the amount of meat I have. Say this was a brisket instead. Okay, perfect. It'd be perfect amount. But this is a thin cut of meat. I don't know if you can see it in the video, but look at the thickness of the steak. They're not very thick. We would say what, about a 1/2 inch thick steak. So it's not very thick, so it doesn't require as much seasoning as, say, a tomahawk, a 2-pound tomahawk, a 3-pound tomahawk, or dinosaur ribs, or brisket or such. So yeah, if you're in a pinch and you need to use your seasonings wisely, I would recommend you use this style. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, by doing this, if you use the typical amount of seasonings that, say, you would use on steak A, my opinion is that the seasonings would overpower the flavor of the steak. You would just get strictly salt, pepper, and garlic, and very subtle hint of a steak. But yeah, let me go back and compare. Like I said, this section of this video is going to run a little long because I want y'all to know. I don't want to be that guy and say, hey, A is better than B and B is better than C and so on and so forth. I want to give you honest opinion. So right now I'm gonna eat another piece of banana and I'm gonna cut a different section of the steak. And hey, like I said, maybe I put too much seasoning on this section and it's ruining it for me. So right now, another piece of banana. Okay, back to steak A. It's seasoned well. I like it. It just got enough pepper, enough garlic in there to let you know, hey, we're here, but we're not in charge of this party. The party is really about this steak. We're his homeboys. We got his back. Salt is just saying, hey, look, I'm here to keep everybody together. That's all it is. Perfect little steak. In fact, if anything, I'm gonna go out on a limb and say this is the best way to cook a steak if you have everything available to you. A piece of banana. Okay, I gotta go another bite there. Cause see, that didn't taste very salty, very peppery. So I might have got a section that didn't have any seasoning on it. Oh yeah, see, and that section had salt. Yeah, like I said on the first run, yeah, the salt is more pronounced. Pepper and garlic, not so much. It's still a delicious steak. What I paid to eat this steak, yeah. What I paid to eat this steak A, hell yeah. I would pay more than steak B. Steak B would be like a Chili's. Oh yeah, calling out Chili's. Yeah, steak A would be, I don't know, high-end steakhouse. Man, I'm never gonna get away over how bananas work. Man. Okay, and back to steak C. And mind you, these steaks have already gotten cold, so the fat's already congealed, I guess, would be the proper terminology. So here's steak C. Yep. I'm gonna stick with my previous comment. Is yeah, the salt, the pepper, garlic are more pronounced. They're more in your face than the other ones. Which I'm gonna say it's too much in your face compared to these other two. So you're not gonna be able to taste the steak as you should. The only issue is that I'm afraid to throw you this comment because these are thinner cuts of meat and it might work on a larger piece of meat. Who knows? But yeah, who knows, right? It probably would work better with a letter C on a bigger cut of meat. Until we do a different steak, don't take my word for it that it would be better. But yeah, for the time being, and from my experience, I'm cooking other steaks, tomahawks, ribs, briskets, everything else. I'm gonna stick with letter A. If you have time to season the steak or briskets, pork butts, whatever you have, whatever you're gonna be cooking, I highly recommend seasoning it prior to the cook process. So that way the flavors incorporate more into the meat so they can do their thing, so to say, with the meat, and it just makes for a better experience. And if you're in a time crunch, maybe even B. C, I won't do it. I wouldn't recommend it. It's too much of a gamble. I don't want you to go out and buy steaks and then do C and you ruin your steaks. I would rather go with a tried and true method of seasoning prior to cooking. And even letter A is almost straight blasphemy for me, because I like to season at least 24 all the way down to 1 hour prior to cooking. Seasoning right before you throw it on the grill doesn't really work for me, but sometimes that's all you got, that little bit of time, that little time window. But yeah, if I'm gonna go with any of these three choices, it's gonna be letter A. So with that being said, we are done with this video. Like I say in all my videos, no recipe is perfect, but it's up to us to cook them. And hell, sometimes I make little experiments and I'll show them to you so you can learn something. So you can say, hey, Jacob showed me something. So yeah, I would like for you to hit that subscribe button, hit that share button, hit that like button. Let people know, hey, Jacob's cooking these steaks and he's giving you the reasons why you should do this, why you should not do that. And hell, maybe you learned something out of this, or maybe you got some comments on it. Anyways, until next time, this is Jacob saying peace.